Hey, mate, you alright?
Yeah, not bad. That is some haircut.
Oh, mate, absolute isolation lid. This is probably the 30th odd podcast we've done, and it's the only second one where I've been nervous and actually made notes beforehand, because this is...
You don't need to be nervous, mate. I'm just fucking random lad from Little Over that's ended up in America somehow.
I know, mate, but this was like when we drew up the wish list of people was going to have on when this happened, mate. You was very high on that list, mate, and we've always wanted to get you on. So we'll start with the current situation and whatnot. Obviously, I'm in Derby. The lockdown is in full effect here. How's it over there? How are you coping there?
To be fair, I'm actually enjoying it at the minute. It's we locked down about a week and a half before everyone else in Los Angeles with our industry, and we've been in about 6-7 weeks now. And to be fair, it's all right. The first week, I was like a madman. I was getting everything done. I was like, right, I'm going to organise this, I'm going to do that. And then plus I had a lot of computer stuff that I had to catch up on. So I got all that out of the way. And then it was like, right, okay, well, week 2, what am I going to do? So we've got another house, like literally a minute from here. So I was like, right, I'm going to go down. I'm going to do the garage out. So I've got a skip, chucking everything away. You know, yeah, brilliant. That took me a couple of days. And then I'm like, right, now what do I do? Fuck. So then I've started getting on the Get Fit thing again. So running and biking. And I'm like, all right, okay, great. And then all of a sudden now, the last week, the weather has been, 30s, 32. Wow. So thankfully we've got like a pool at the other house. So we've just been taking the kids down there, swimming and just having barbecue every day, chilling out and working out. It's been, I'm actually quite enjoying it. But we're still working in a way. So that's kind of handy.
Is it similar to how it is here? You literally can't go out and do anything. It's just... you're pretty much in full lockdown.
Everything, you can't go out. You can go to the stores and things like that to get like, you know, your supermarkets and like that's it. But everything else is closed down. Parks, golf courses, you name it, that's all closed down. And yeah, it is what it is though. Really, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of I stay in my own little bubble out here anyway. LA's a bit bougie for me.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, mate. I'm Derby boy through and through. So, you know, for me, like, you know, they all go, oh, we're going down here in Hollywood and we're doing this. And I'm thinking, this is crap.
Just want to go to the swamp.
Yeah, and the best thing is, it's like, obviously my mates come over from Derby and that, and they go, oh, we want to go to the Hollywood, you know, do the Walk of Fame and all that lot. And I'm like, lads, literally, it'll take you 10 minutes. And they're going, no, we want to see it. I said, look, it's no different than walking down Normanton Road. I said, that's what it's like. I said, it's just, it's crap. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. And that's it. And like, for me, it's like, listen, you could stick all your fancy LA restaurants up your arse sideways, get me back down the Panther in Little Over, and I love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kansas State pub with real people, and you know I love it. And that's one of the things. That's why I love coming back to Derby so much, just because the people are real. Over here, it's too fake. Like I said, it's not me. Like across the road, our neighbours. The guy called Ray and Tracy, lovely people.
Yeah.
But Ray is the songwriter for Bruno Mars, and Tracy is Kim Kardashian's PR girl. And there's me going, yeah, and there's me in the morning going past them, walking out. You're right. And it's just like, what? Like, yeah, whatever. Crack on.
But it's like, I've just been for a quick walk through Chad for my daily walk, and I've got people sitting on the front lawns on settees. So that's like the difference of our days have been.
Okay, but that's the thing. Here's the thing. Over in England, right, everybody comes together and, you know, there's a kind of unity, like, you know, the clapping on Thursday evenings. I think that's brilliant. Where over here, I've just been to the supermarket and I've got this woman who sat behind me complaining, oh, I want to get in quicker. It's literally, the queue is like 4 deep, nothing. And she's there going, oh, I've got things to do. I've got play. And I'm thinking, nothing. You're lying. Listen, you need to get home, have a good wash, do your hair, and just chill out. You know what I mean?
Is it just purely because it's where all the work is for you, LA? That's why you're based there.
That's it. To be fair, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I can come back and I can work in the UK, but the problem is the industry in the UK is just night and day. It's not really taken seriously in the UK. You know, if you look at the adult industry in the UK and you basically just think some bloke with a camcorder in a hotel room, it's, you know, it's totally different kettle of fish. Where over here, so obviously I produce all our own content, but we'll have like 14, 15 people on set.
Wow.
And it's from lighting guys, sound guys, makeup, PAs, catering, things like that. And I just can't really, in England, I find I struggle with girls like as well, because, you know, distances. So they'll be coming, like, say a girl's coming from London. Okay, you got your call time at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then it's like, oh, I've got to get this train, I've got to do that. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then they never get there till like 11, 12. And then, where over here, because where we live is in San Fernando Valley, which is basically the porn capital. And everybody's like 20, 30 minutes away from each other.
Okay.
So it's like, if I have a call time at 8 a.m., like on my info, it's like, hey, if you're an hour late, you will be replaced. And
really?
I can get another girl here. Yeah, I can get another girl here within 20, 30 minutes.
Wow.
So that quick. That's the beauty of LA. And that's basically the only reason I'm here, is basically work.
Would you be able to make a full-time living in England, or would you have to have something else to support it if you was a male adult actor in England?
I could easily make a full-time living of it in England.
Just be harder.
I mean, yeah, it's just it's hard work. That's the only thing. Like, yeah, because I'm in a really lucky situation that I'm contracted, so my money is always there. So, you know, it is what it is. I shoot how many scenes a month, I'm paid the same. Yeah. So I'm on a contract rate, which is great. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, it's good money. And then plus we have other income coming in from, like, there's a thing at the minute called OnlyFans, which everybody's on. And I have one of them that does brilliant money every month. Like, that does about 30 grand a month just for that side thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's good money on that. And then obviously I have my Brazzers contract, which is, you know, really good. And then you have other income coming in. Like I had a molding, like a dildo done. And so, you know, you get a check every month through the post from that. You know, a couple of grand here, there and whatever, which you don't realise. And yeah, it's good. And then, and also, like, I was quite smart with like these platforms back in the day. I got a lot of girls to sign up through my referral link. So, you know, I'll probably do, you know, a good chunk of change every month from just referrals as well. So, yeah, it's, like you said, listen, if I came back to Derby, I would love it. But it's just, like I say, it's hard work. And it's not that the hard work scares me. It's just that I get frustrated. I'm very OCD in, like, how I like things run. And, you know, of a girl's like flaking and stuff like that. It's just, it gets to me, because then it's like, okay, I've just wasted the day. Yeah, you know what I mean? And they don't realise a lot of things go into it, like locations and scouting the location. And it just, even like, obviously here in LA, I can just drive and I'm 20, 30 minutes from every location. Where if I'm shooting in England, to go down to London for the day, or Milton Keynes, or I know, you know, a strip club in Northampton that I want to shoot. And, you know, we make the effort to drive down there, and a girl just gives you some excuse like an hour before. And it's like, oh, well, I've wasted my day. And so it's a bit of a nightmare, really. Yeah.
I want to ask you a bit about how you got into the industry and whatnot. But before we get onto that, we'll start from the beginning. What are your kind of memories growing up in Derby? Obviously, growing up massive Rams fan, growing up in Littleover.
Oh, mate, listen, Littleover boy through and through. Went to St. Benedict's, so a good Catholic boy, aren't I? So yeah, went Benedict's, and I did all the same standard stuff. Like when I was younger, I used to play for Little Over Dazzlers, and then I played for Shelton Lock for a bit, and played for Sinfin for a bit, and then I was at Derby Boys, and then I went from there to Graham Street Prims, and then Mickleover Sports.
Really?
So yeah. So
good level of football, that.
Played. So the people that I used to play with were. Do you remember Chris Palmer?
Yeah, Chris Palmer. Yeah,
Chrissy Palmer and Campy. I still speak to Campy quite a bit.
Yeah.
Me and Campy, we went out in Vegas, and like you said, he gets a lot of stick, but he's a genuinely really nice lad. And so I played there, and then I was at County with Gaz Jackson and that. And I still remember, like, when we were kids playing against Jermaine Pennant. Who else? There was the guy who was at Forest, Westcar. Craig Westcar.
Craig Westcar, yeah, Craig Westcar, yeah.
Yeah, so he was a brilliant player. Do you know what I mean? These lads were absolutely brilliant back in the day. So yeah, that was it really. And then kind of like knocked football on the head. I was going to the Derby matches all the time, so I used to drink in the Blue Pool.
Yeah. My old man used to play football for the Blue Pool. Yeah,
did he?
Yeah. When it was like Johan.
Yeah, I know Johan. I know Johan really well. Johan, he used to date Finnegan, Ryan and Amy Finnegan's mum back in the day. Yeah. I remember, mate. So yeah, good. Like you say, good little over lad. Go to all the footy matches. Go out. Used to love going out downtown. When Derby was good to go out. Like when you had like some proper places, like you remember Susumi, Revolution, all that lot, and all the little over lot used to always end up in Soda Bar.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Soda Bar was brilliant back in the day, and and that was it really, mate. So yeah, like I said, I try and get back. It's harder now because I've got kids, but before I had kids, me and my missus, I used to come back probably 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
Easily. Like any chance I get, if it's like, okay, I've got 10 days open up in my calendar, I'm flying out to Derby.
Yeah.
And that's my missus. Like my missus is from Boston, and she's like, oh, where are we going to go? I'm like, Barbados. Don't worry. and she's there going to me, oh, are we going to go to an island or somewhere like that? I said, don't you worry, Spider Island. I can't take you there. And she's learned to love Derby. To be fair, like it's a bit of a shock to her because, like I said, she's come from Boston, then moved to LA, so it's a bit of a culture shock to her. But thankfully, she loves to have a drink. So she likes that when we go back. And she's got used to kebabs and curries. She likes a good kebab and curry. I was going to say, in Chad, you got 3 chefs, haven't you?
Yeah, 3 chefs, mate. Sonny at 3 chefs, mate.
Love it. Love 3 chefs and that.
I was going to say, before I work at Radio Derby now on sport, and before I worked there, I did 12 years home and away. Went everywhere with the Rams. Like, didn't miss one for 12 years, and it was always over Christmas. I'd always see you. I mean, I was trying to dig it out earlier from. I think it was a Boxing Day game. It was at home. I had a picture of you outside the Neptune. So I remember I always used to see you out and about around Christmas. You'd always be back in all the games.
Time. Yeah, I love coming, and that's the thing. I like. Even my mates used to think. I remember we played Middlesbrough up at Christmas time, like a few years back, and they were like, "What, you going Middlesbrough on your own for?" I'm like, "Mate, I don't realise. I'll go to any game on my own. I don't care. You know what I mean? If the lads aren't up for it, I'm like, well, I'm going.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah. So I don't really mind. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them, really. I just love it, and it's like over here. So thankfully, we've got the Rams TV now. So I've got, Rams TV. So the only ball ache is if the game's at like a 12 o'clock kickoff. So that means I have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
Ah, shit.
But yeah, it's apart from that, it's decent because a lot of the games are on at 7. So my work, if we work Saturdays, it's going to be a later call time because I like to watch the football in the morning. the best one was Leeds away in the playoff last season.
Yeah.
So I've said, like, I've watched it. I took the Saturday off to watch them at home, and we've lost, and I've gone, all right. And I'm thinking, if it was a draw, I would have rescheduled, my game. And to be honest, I didn't really think we were going to do it. I didn't think we were going to go to Ellen Road and get a result. And I was like, what I'll do is I'll just put my call time later on in the day. And then that was it. And I even warned the girl. I said, listen, I'm probably going to be in a bad mood. So if I'm quiet, just ignore me.
I thought you were bouncing in.
Oh, mate, I went absolutely mental. I'm there going to, listen, you're going to have the best day of your life. And I still remember in the stills, because I was still bouncing, and I'm there in the girls' ears going, Lampard, stop, Lampard. And I'm trying to do the bounce while I'm balls deep in this girl. It was, I don't think she was impressed, but who cares? I had a great day.
Oh, brilliant! You've done your all-time Rams 11. We had a chat the other day. We'll get onto that a little bit later on. But I want to first, because this is like a question I've always wondered. How does like a lad in Derby at first
get into it?
Yeah, but not just get into it, but get to like the level you're at. Because obviously, like they call me in the paddock. They call me Blake the Snake.
Okay.
So I reckon, no, I'm not going to get it out.
I was going to say, I was about to hold you to this now.
I'm not warmed up.
Basically, what happened is I was working for the railway, and long story short, I don't speak to my old man, but I kind of always got a bit fed up of like, oh, Steve's lad. And I was like, oh, all right. And then I went on holiday with all the lads, got absolutely wasted, and someone took a picture of me bollock naked, and that was it. It was just lying around. And then the next thing you know, someone had put it on a swingers website. And I'm getting all these couples emailing me going, I want you to come and do it, bang my missus. And I'm thinking, what is this? I didn't know what swinging was. I didn't have a clue. And I'm going, like some of these pictures, some right rotters. And I go, no. Then all of a sudden, this company emailed me and sent me a picture. He goes, oh, look, we're a swinging couple. We're starting an amateur porn site. Would you be interested? And I've gone, yeah, go, have a look. Click the attachment. I'm like, bloody hell, brilliant. She's beautiful. And I still thought it was a fake. So anyway, I arranged to meet and ended up at like Mark Eaton Park of all places, because I used to have an apartment on, I should call it a flat. That was very American of me, wasn't it? An apartment. Where Grundy's was?
Yeah, Mr. Grundy's.
Right next door to Grundy's.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Literally, the apartment's there. Across the road, when I used to live there was Blockbuster.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Where like 7-5 taxis and that is.
Yeah. So that's where I used to be. And so anyway, I just thought, right, I'll go for a run. And that was it. Ended up going up for a run up there. And that was it. They were there. And I was like, bloody hell, shit, I've got to do this. And so I did the deed. And they were like, oh, you're brilliant. Can you do it again next week? We were in Loughborough. I was like, yeah, go on then. So then I was going to Loughborough like once a week. And, it was I was getting paid cash in hand. And it was all right. And then eventually they got bigger and bigger. And then they offered me a contract. And I was like, well, I had to make up my mind then. It's like, do I stick at the railway with something I really wasn't enjoying, or take this chance? So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to take the chance. So I did that. And then I was contracted with them for 4 years. I think it was 3.5, 4 years, something like that. And it was great. And then I kind of got bored a little bit, because I was literally going to the same place in Loughborough time and time again. And it was just a bit boring. And all the girls I was working with going, oh, you could do really well with other companies. And I was going, maybe. And one thing led to another. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a change. And so I went freelance. And all of a sudden I've gone freelance. And, everyone's like, oh, there's this young lad. He's really good performer. You should book him. so I was working all over the UK. I was working Bristol, a lot in London. There was a company down there called Bluebird, and they contracted me straight away, but I just really wasn't having it. But they were paying me like 500 quid a day, and I was doing maybe 2-3 scenes in a day. So you think you're earning 1,500 quid a day, and I'm doing it 5 days a week. Do you know what I mean? For having a right laugh. And then through that company, they hired a big European director and to produce some movies. And he was like, wow, you're really good. I want to bring you out to Budapest. So then I started traveling Europe. So Budapest, Prague, going all over Italy. Then I ended up in Russia filming. And so I was going all over. So I'd made quite a name for myself within Europe then. And then I remember one month I did like 40 scenes in a month. And it was like, oh man, tired. And so my friend had just moved to LA. He goes, oh, come out. I'm getting married. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to come out for your wedding. So I went out for his wedding, and one of the girls out there that I knew from here said, oh, you should shoot for Brazzers. And I was like, Never heard of them. I'm like, and at the time, Brazzers were no one. They were just shooting out of a garage in Vegas. And, you know, I was like, no, I'm all right. I'm just going to have, 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
I got there the first week, and then, they're just getting married. So I'm like the spare wheel. So I'm getting a bit bored, and then they offered me a shoot again. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I did. So I ended up taking the shoot, and I still remember it clear as day. The bloke's come in, he goes, okay, you're a patient, you broke your leg, she gives you a bed bath. And, it goes on from there. I'm like, all right, brilliant. Just stay in character then. I'm like, yeah, okay, got it. So I'm there doing my thing, and I'm thinking, well, I've broke my leg. I'm not going to be able to put pressure on it, am I? So I'm thinking, right, and he said stay in character. So I've done the whole scene on one leg. And he's gone afterwards, he goes, that was brilliant, amazing, really over the top American. And then he goes, one question, why didn't you put your leg down? I've gone, he told me to stay in character, I broke my leg, Anna. And he's gone, oh, you could have put your leg down. I was like, oh, right, great, now you tell me. And then he basically said to me, oh, can you stay for the week? And I was like, yeah, okay, no worries. And that was it, really. Stayed there shooting for the week. Then I had to fly back to St. Petersburg to go and film. And as soon as I'd landed in London, they'd offered me a contract for 3 months to come out. So I was like, yeah, go on, then I'll come out to America for 3 months. And then 2 months into my contract, they extended it. And that was it. And so then I was at that stage where I was like, I'm in between, visa. So I came back to the UK for like a month, and then ended up coming back out to America, and that was it. They offered me a contract again for about a year, and then that was it. And I think I was about 9 months in, and the big company at the time were Reality Kings. And they offered me a really lucrative contract to leave Brazzers and go over to them. I think it worked out. It was like, at the time, it was about 80 grand a month to go out there and basically shoot in LA and Miami. I got a private jet to Miami when I wanted. And also I remember they used to sponsor, you remember the UFC fighter, Kimbo Slice?
Yeah, Kimbo, yeah.
So they used to sponsor him. So it was like, oh yeah, you can come some training camps with Kimbo and all this lot. And it was a really nice offer. They offered 5 guys that opportunity, and I was the only guy out of the 5 that turned it down, because for me, I'm loyal. I'm thinking, well, Brazzers are my opportunity. I ain't just gonna, ditch them at the very first, time. And so I ended up turning them down, stayed with Brazzers, and then Brazzers came to me, and then they went, oh, look, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And they didn't say anything, and my contract was up in like 2-3 months. I was like, man, have I just made a mistake here? And then 2-3 months later, they offered me the same kind of contract, and that was that, really. And it kind of like really tied our bond together, and I've been with them 13-14 years now, and
really?
that's it.
So literally from the start then?
Pretty much, yeah. Like I said, I've been doing it.
Well, from the start of Brazzers, I mean.
Yeah, for Brazzers, I've been there from basically, they were there maybe 8-9 months before I came, and then they've just literally now, and Brazzers of a website. The company I'm actually work for is MindGeek. So we own, obviously, Pornhub, Brazzers, Reality Kings. We bought Reality Kings, actually. And then you have Digital Playground, Babes, Twisties, Mofos. The list goes on, and a lot of the tube sites and that. But Pornhub is probably the biggest one, that everybody knows. So yeah, it's huge. And then our main office is in Montreal, and that's got about 1,600 employees up there in Montreal. So that's why I'm saying it's like it's very different. Like we also we bought out Playboy as well, so we own Playboy online. So yeah, there's a lot of things. That's why I say over here it's treated a lot differently. Do you know what I mean? Like I've experienced in the UK, like I've experienced both sides. I've experienced it where people have come up to me and gone, "Oh, you're disgusting. You have sex with all these women without condoms and all this lot." And I'm thinking, we get tested every 10 days. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's super regulated out here. And I think to myself, the amount of times that I know my mates have gone out on a Friday, Saturday night, pulled some laps home and taken her home, and then gone, shit, better get down the old William Donald clinic on Monday because something ain't right down below. Do you know what I mean? So I've experienced that a bit. One sec, someone's. Are you still there? But yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I experienced that, and then also I experienced it where I opened a bank account. When I left, I kind of got rid of all my accounts in the UK. But then recently I was going to buy another house in England. I thought, I've got to have a UK account. So I set up an account with the HSBC. It was like an expat account. So they said, you've got to put X amount into this account to get it. And like I said, it was a large amount. It wasn't like an amount to turn your nose up at. And I think everything was fine, and all of a sudden they must have done some kind of research on me, found out that I was in the adult industry, and sent me a letter and said, "Oh, you've got to close your account there," for no reason. Yeah, just because that you're in the adult.
Yeah, if you can back up, just say Google me. I mean, it's not like you've laundered it or anything. You're earning it legitimately.
That's the thing. But yeah, apparently they wouldn't give you any reason and just said you've got, I think it was 30 days to withdraw your money and that. So yeah, you do get a lot of discrimination, especially in the UK. Over here, you get it slightly, but not as bad because people over here, they can see that, listen, if I put my tax returns against someone else's, they see that I'm contributing to society. I'm not just, skipping it. And plus, like I said, I employ 10, 11 people at a time. Between camera guys, photographers, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, we talked about breaking into the industry. I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it. I don't know if you'd be able to do it or not. There's a young lad, this isn't a wind-up, who's trying to get into the adult industry, who's from Oakwood.
It's weird. Okay, so there's a girl in the adult industry called Sophie D. All right, really, really popular girl. She's from Derby. She went Derby Moor School. She was in the same class as Campy and Chris Palmer.
Really?
Not a lot of people know that. Yeah, so there's her. And then there's also there's a guy out there in Derby. What's his name? Luke Hardy. He goes under. He's also in the adult industry out there. There was another guy as well. He was in the industry, but I'm not going to say his name because he was in it and then decided he's left now, and he's got a life away from it all, and that he's just I don't know what he does now, but yeah. So there's Derby's like the porn capital of the world. There's quite a few performers in Derby.
What advice would you give? Like one piece of advice. We're going to move on shortly, but I'll name him because you don't mind me. Ozzy. He wants one piece of advice on breaking in.
Oh, and breaking in, I'll be really honest, the UK is hard. So his best bet is basically doing a few scenes for free. It's a lot easier, like when you're at home and you're shooting with some bird that you've met and stuff like that. So you need to get on a professional set, people don't realise it's not as glamorous as it sounds. Like, you know, that I could be there doing a scene with a girl, and I look out the corner of my eye. You'll have the sound guy just sat playing on his phone. You've got the makeup artist doing her nails, photographer reading a book. Like, nobody's interested in what's going on in front. Only the camera guy, and that's it. And so, but it is a bit, you know, when you've got that amount of people. Like, I used to do scenes where we used to do. There was a TV show on Bravo, I think it was, called Porn Week back in the day. And, mate, they were crazy because you'd have 50, 60, 70 people there, and they go, right, okay, perform now, go. Yeah. And you're having to do a scene in front of all these people, and people are looking, and you can hear people whispering in the ear, like, oh, look what he's doing, and oh, look, is he? Oh, he's getting on now. Oh, okay, listen, it can be off-putting. So, like, for the advice I'd say is, like, try and get on, like, do a few pro scenes, and even if you do them for free at start, and then just build your confidence with it that way, and that's it, really. Yeah.
I've got some questions we got off Twitter, but the one I wanted to ask before I go into reading some questions out. I know it seems like on paper to be a dream job. Do you ever wake up in the morning and think like, oh, like another day?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Like, everybody always asks that, like, oh, you know, you get to back, and it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong. So, and like some of the women I work with, absolutely stunning, but they've got no personality. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, listen, how many times have you been out in town and you've seen an absolute stunner? You've gone out, you're talking to her, and she's up her own arse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just like, oh, whatever, I can't be dealing with it. That's what it's like on set sometimes. Some of these girls are, you know, I'm in a lucky situation now, but when I first started out, like, they go, oh, they're probably looking at me going, who's this guy? Got a weird accent, everything like that. Luckily now I've kind of built up a name, so I know everybody I'm working with. And then also, you know, the newer girls are like, oh, I've always wanted to work with you. And that just makes you feel really old, especially now when you're getting girls like, oh, I remember watching your form when I was younger. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, how old am I now? And yeah, so it's that can be interesting for sure.
Yeah, well, we've got some questions. I've only got 3 or 4. I won't keep you forever. The first one's from Ben Osborne, Sheffield United midfielder.
I read it this morning. And
I thought you'd pick with this one because of the goal, but he's left now.
Oh, mate, easy. It was something about how do you keep a relationship or something like that.
Yeah, how do you maintain relationships? Because from the outside, in your industry, it might be the norm, but for people outside looking in, like if you leave your missus in the morning and then you're going out, basically like.
Mate, I tell you what, it'd be if she was a Forest fan, then there'd be no relationships. So it's a no-brainer. So there'd be no, you know, I can't be dealing with that. But no, look, with our industry, we separate it. Like I go to work, that's my job. Do you know what I mean? It's, you could compare it to a footballer, really. Look, at the end of the day, you go to work, you do your job, you play football. You don't come home and play football 24/7 and things like that. You separate your life, you relax, you have time with friends, family, and things, and that's what we do. And like for me, it's just work. That the sex part of it is nothing. I have no emotional attachment to it or anything like that. That's my job, in, out, and I'm 2 separate people. That's why you have stage names. And you know, I go home and you know I'm Keiran on set. Go home, I'm just Adam. You know, with my wife, my family, my kids. They don't even nobody really knows. Do you know what I mean? It's night and day, and day. Like, yeah, so it is easy. Like I said, I've been with my missus now 10, 11 years. We've got 3 kids. We never argue at all. Like, you know, we just laugh and joke. We've been, like I said, all that time, never had an argument. And, you know, I think a lot of relationships, they get caught up in like the whole scandal of, oh, is he texting some other bird or has she done this? And there's a lot of jealousy that goes on in a lot of relationships where with mine, it's like, look, why do I need to cheat? I'm going out every day. banging different birds. So to put it in a, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? There's no need for me. My phone's there. If she wants to read it, she can read it. There's nothing on there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what probably makes our relationship stronger than most. Because, like I said, how many times do you see people split up because one was cheating on the other and things like that? I don't need to. So probably what makes us stronger.
Yeah. You talk about having stage names. Another one was, where did Keiran Lee come from?
So you know the beer, Keiran beer.
Yeah.
Every time, whenever I go for an Indian, I always like Keiran beer. So I was like, I really like that name. I didn't like the spelling of it, so I looked at different like the spellings, and I found that one. So that was that, and then my middle name is Lee.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, well, Keiran Lee, it's easy. It's easy searchable. But it did backfire on me a little bit when I first came, because obviously in America, nobody knew me at the time. So they would get their call sheet and it's like, oh, you're working with Keiran Lee. And then they're thinking, oh, great, I'm working with some like little Asian guy with a little dick. And there's me that rocks up. And it was funny because I always remember it like when I first used to go on set in in America, I used to always dress up smart. So I'd have a polo shirt on, jeans, and always look smart. And they'd get a big shock. They'd think some little Asian guy was showing up, and then this awkward British guy, and smelling of aftershave and all that. So, but now it's like just rock up. T-shirt, shorts. All right, let's get on.
Well, I'll do one more question and we'll go on to your Rams 11 to finish. But
go on.
Have you got a favourite scene you've ever done? I think my favourite scene, actually, quickly, is the one where you had the luminous yellow Derby shirt on.
Yeah, the Derby shirt with Asher Akira. Yeah, okay, so you know what's really funny? So that is our old shoot house in Vegas. So we used to just rent a house and we'd shoot loads of scenes there. So just recently, Tyson Fury was out in Vegas, obviously, and that's where we used to shoot, in Vegas. And I've looked at him in this hot tub jacuzzi thing, and I've gone, I know that. And I'm looking at it, and then I've realised they've rented our old shoot house to be their training camp. And so, do you know Sam Jones, Joe George?
Yeah, I know Sam Jones. We've had him on at Radio Derby recently.
Yeah. So Sam. I speak to Sam when he comes out here, and I sent him a message, and that scene where I'm in the Derby shirt is in the same bit where Tyson Fury's doing all his interviews.
The same jacuzzi.
Same jacuzzi, everything. So yeah, we were just laughing.
I hope they've cleaned it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, lovely, mate. Thank you for answering them, mate. A lot of people are very happy. I'm going to end on Rams 11s. I'll quickly give you mine because everyone that we ask, any Rams fans have had on. Let me just find it quickly. Right, I've gone. I went Carson in goal instead of Poom, which has been contentious and I've been hammered for, but only because my memories are sketchy because I'm a bit younger than you of Poom. I can remember watching him, but I remember Carson better. Then I've gone Chrissy Powell, Stimac, Carbonari, Andre Wisdom, but Andre Wisdom, first loan spell 2014 at right back. Yeah,
he was absolutely immense that season. I remember taking my missus actually to Barnsley away on Boxing Day, I think.
And he crossed it in for the Chrissy Martin header.
He was absolutely immense that day, and I really wanted to sign him after that loan spell. And like I said, now I think, with Wisdom, get him in the team settled. He's decent. He's solid. Yeah. I've always thought his better position would be centre half. To be fair, alongside so like I think last season. Listen, a lot of people slate Keogh, but I really like. I think he was a good leader, and he made the odd mistake in that. But with Tamori last season, he looked a different player. And I've always thought if Derby played three at the back with Wisdom, Keogh, and if we'd had Tamori last season at times, we could have nicked a few more points, I thought. So, yeah, I can see Wisdom for sure.
Any qualms with the other back three? Carbonari, Stimac, Chrissy Powell?
Stimac, Carbonari, Powell, solid. It was pretty much the same as mine. Carbonari, we just didn't see enough of him. Like I've gone with McFarlane just because I'm one of them that I used to watch back all the old footage and what a player he was. So mine was a toss up between Carbonari and McFarlane.
I've then gone. I'll get you to read yours out in full in a minute. I've then gone Diamond midfield, Van der Laan at the bottom, Asanovic on the left, Irania on the right, Hughes at the tip.
Yeah, decent.
And then, embarrassingly, I didn't put Sturridge in, which I wish I would have. But I'm going to stand by it. I went Chrissy Martin, just because Chrissy Martin's my favourite ever Derby player, and Malcolm Christie.
Yeah.
I think that's emotion because he scored some of my favourite goals at that time, Christie. Some of them goals, I think that went emotion over.
Yeah. The only reason why I'd never go Malcolm Christie because I used to go out in Derby at the time he was out, and he was such an arrogant prick, and so so I'd just be like, what a knob. But no, it's funny. Like, yeah, it's solid. That is. I think I went to Irania at right back, didn't I?
Have you got it in foot? Do you want to read yours out? I've got yours out here on WhatsApp. Yeah. You went. Oh, actually, I've not got it anymore.
I remember it was Poom, Irania right back, Stimac, McFarland, Chris Powell. Then midfield, I had Lee Carsley or a fit George Thorne at the base.
Yeah.
And then I had Will Hughes, Asanovic. I think I went 4-3-3, and then I went up top, Baiano, one-chop Sturridge.
Wow. Yeah. I think yours blows me out of the water. But
no, it's good. Like I said, Chris Martin could easily push in there with instead of Sturridge. Like I said, Sturridge for me was brilliant. But then again, I just remember him the playoff, the season we got promoted. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then the first season in the Premier League, he was all right. And that was it. And then he tailored off a little bit. Where for me, when we had Baiano and One Chop, I remember games, we were blowing teams away. Like, I'll always remember the game. Why I put Lee Carsley in there is a game that we played against Southampton. And I think we won about 4-0.
4-0, yeah. We scored three goals in 15 minutes or something, didn't we?
Yeah, and he was unbelievable. And, he's one of them. No frill player, just tackle, pass, get it away. It's like even Daryl Powell. Listen, I still remember Daryl Powell. Best game for Derby I ever saw Daryl Powell play was at left back against Sheffield Wednesday at home.
Really?
He played at left back. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I think that's the area I grew. I still remember, Paul Williams, Craig Short, Tommy Johnson. That was it. I remember going to the playoff final at Leicester. I went to the Anglo-Italian Cup final. I've never missed a important game for Derby. I go to everyone. Like, I even flew back, and the best time I ever flew back for Derby Forest, I flew back for the 5-0.
Wow.
And so I always look at the fixtures, and like I was meant to be there for this one, on April the 1st or 2nd, was it?
It's April 4th, I think.
Yeah, I had my flights booked to go back for that game. I'll always go back for every game, and I remember when we got to the playoffs against QPR, I still remember it to my day. My missus, I said, right, look, Derby have made it to the playoffs. I'm going to go back. So I flew back, and I remember I went to Brighton away, and then we did Brighton at home.
Yeah.
And I've called my missus. I said, look, it's pointless me flying back to fly back again. So I said, I'll stay now and then just come back after the playoff final. She's there thinking, yeah, okay, that's no problem. Bear in mind, she was pregnant with my little one at the time. And she's thinking, I'll be back by the end of the week, because in America, they do the playoffs. You do the playoff one like that. It's done after a couple of days. The final is like 3 days after the semi. And then she goes, okay, when you back? And I gave her the date, and it was like 3 weeks later or whatever. She was livid, absolutely livid. But yeah.
Have you got a favourite Rams memory? I think mine's a 3-2 Forest game when we come from 2-0 down. I don't know why, but that's always stuck with me.
Either, I know it's cliche, but the 5-0.
Yeah, the 5-0 was
that was brilliant. The other one for me would have been when we beat Southampton in the playoff semi-final.
Oh wait, when was 1-0 down?
Yeah.
Oh, the home game. Sorry.
Penalty.
Yeah, the penalty. Yeah.
Penalty.
When Idiaka's missed. Sorry, yeah.
Idiaka's missed. Yeah, and so that one sticks out. And then also, for me, atmosphere-wise, 2 games that really stick out was obviously the semi-final against Brighton. I remember the South Stand was absolutely rocking that day. It was brilliant. And then also the game against, I'm pretty sure it was Middlesbrough, and way back when Jim Smith was the manager, and they literally for about 60, 70 minutes just sang Bold Eagles, Balmy Army, clapping away. I mean, I don't know why. We were down to 10 men. I think Jonathan Hunt got sent off, and we ended up winning. We ended up scoring, and the place erupted. It was brilliant. Yeah,
amazing.
So, I do. Any Derby Forest game, I do love going to them. To be fair, they're always
special, aren't they? They're special.
Yeah. Apart from that one when your fella Ben Osborne scored in the last minute.
You're getting it wrong. He's not my fella.
Yeah. Well. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, we did a decent podcast, me and Benny, and he's jumped on board with this. He's looking forward to this one. So he's a Derby at the end of the day, isn't he?
You got to listen. You got to give him huge respects. Like, look, he's come out. He's gone Forest. He was at Derby, wasn't he?
Derby released him, so you got to do something, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. And fair play. He's gone Forest, made it, and now look, Premier League football, Sheffield United, and they've done. I feel sorry for them if the Premier League gets cancelled this season, because, to be fair, I think they deserve a place in Europe, especially in the Champions. Like, look, I think what is it? They win their game in hand against Villa.
Yeah, they go fourth.
They go in the fourth, and it's unfortunate because I think they deserve it. So they've been robbed at times this season. I remember watching them away to Tottenham. They've been robbed via VAR. They should be up there. And let's see. Fingers crossed for him.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Keiran, Adam. Thank you very much for joining us. Just finally, mate, what's next? What's the dream? I always ask people this at the end. What's the ultimate for you?
Move back to Derby. That's the dream. Eventually, it's going to happen. Once I've done my time out here, I've already said, look, my mum lives up in Alice Street at the minute. And to be fair, my missus loves it up that way. So we've looked at houses up that way, and if we can either look to buy one out there or build one, and eventually I want my kids to grow up in Derby. Over here, like I've mentioned to me before, LA to me isn't a place to bring up kids. All my mates back home are joiners, brickies, window fitters, and everything like that, and they've all got kids. And my lad loves it going back. I look at him and he's like a real little boy. He's into his football. He loves coming to the matches with me and stuff like that. And I just want that for him. Like I said, I had a brilliant childhood growing up. And so I'm not saying he won't get it out here. We'll give him everything he wants. But I don't know. There's just something special about Derby.
Yes, what a lovely way to end, and mate, I really appreciate you giving up an hour of your time for us, mate, because it's a big thing. It's a big thing for you.
Mate.
Yeah, respect. Take care of yourself. Stay safe.
All right, great. Take care, mate. Have a good one. Ciao.
Take care, mate. Bye.